Hey, all you pilgrims on the Ascension journey. Hey, Travis Carper, Ascension Health Coach. Yeah, down here in Southern Oregon again. And as you can see, it's very beautiful. Those is the mountains in back of me. Anyways, hey, today I wanted to read from Alchemical Wizard 28, Bio-Oxidative Therapies. So, let's see, is this grass wet? I'm checking the grass to see if it's wet. Let's just go ahead and read here, and let's get into it. It's getting close to the 1111 portal, and there should be some, which actually, with the planetary alignments, the astronomical alignments and stuff, it also opens up more energy to allow into this solar system. So there's going to be more photonic energetic waves, the cosmic rays, the ionized particles coming through our magnetosphere, the ionosphere. They get ionized and come down, right? These adamantine particles, whatever. You can start checking into all the charts and stuff and the spectrograms and the magnetometers and all that. Anyways, because remember how everything's it's an electric universe, and our biofield physiology too, and then where you resonate with your mind, body, and spirit, that's where you resonate, and this is how this projection occurs. And then there's a collective projection, of course. Anyways, going off on another tangent. Bio-oxidative therapies, man. All right. The chemical reaction, Alchemical Wizard 28, bio-oxidative therapies, okay? The chemical reaction involving oxygen is known as oxidation. Oxidation reactions can proceed slowly, such as metal rusting, or they can be rapid, such as fire burning. There can be no human life if oxidation reactions did not occur. Breathing oxygen is an oxidation process. In our biological body, some types of oxidation reactions are essential to life and health, while others are actually harmful. The biological body uses oxygen as a first line of defense against bacteria, viruses, yeast, and parasites. Oxygen, oxygenating your cells, right? This is an important note here that bacteria and viruses thrive where acids, metals, and stagnant circulation exist in opposition to oxygen. So even out, you notice that there's when you go up into the mountains and then there's a stagnant pond or something, there's lots more bugs swarming around that. It's kind of the same thing when you get down into the micro world, right? The parasites and the viruses that are inside your body, well, they love the toxic environment. So we're going to get into it, actually. Okay, so oxidation is also the process by which our biological body converts food into usable energy for work and growth via the mitochondrial biogenesis. Free radicals, also known as toxic species of chemical oxygen, are now being investigated as the final common biochemical pathway in such diverse disease processes as cancer, heart attack, and the aging process itself. When we use the principles of oxidation to bring about healing in the body, it is called bio-oxidative therapies, right? So you see older people in the hospitals and stuff, and they get the oxygen, right? At that point, you've kind of degraded a lot, though, right? So what we're going to be talking about here in this healing modalities, these different tools here, is to try, like the deep breathing we're going to get into, from the abdominal breathing from the diaphragm up, and bringing in, well, there's more, the nitrogen and everything in our atmosphere of our planet Earth, Gaia. But the oxygen, right? So oxygenating your cells on a cellular level. So let us cogitate on bio-oxidative therapies that have been used for over 100 years, first appeared in the mainstream medical journals in 1920. Cogitate. I just said use that word instead of, because I always say let's consider. Okay, so since that time, they have been studied in major medical research countries throughout the world. The foremost researcher of bio-oxidative therapies, Dr. Charles H. Farr, first president of the American Board of Chelation Therapy and founder of the International Bio-Oxidative Medicine Foundation, IBOM, received a nomination for the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1993 for his research with intravenous hydrogen peroxide. We're going to get into that later. Okay, IBOM Foundation currently publishes a protocol for the safe and proper administration of intravenous hydrogen peroxide. That particular hydrogen peroxide is administered at a very weak concentration of medical grade peroxide added to a normal saline solution. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the different hydrogen peroxides, okay? Several different methods of bio-oxidative therapies are now in use. Probably the simplest form of bio-oxidation therapy is regular aerobic oxidative, quote, exercise, aerobic exercise, man, right? That's why you see me riding the bike all the time. It's right there. Bio-oxidative oxidation is the fundamental mechanism of how exercise improves health. Aerobic exercise is any type of cardiovascular conditioning. By definition, aerobic exercise means, in quote, with oxygen, okay? So aerobic exercise, that's why that's important too, you know. I mean, to get basically the breathing in and the oxygen, right? Okay. So next, while very helpful in preventing disease, aerobic exercise is often difficult or impossible to do during illness, especially chronic, debilitating, or lingering disease. As to say, the Western modern medical establishment does not usually use these therapies as preventative medicines. Well, right. Okay, we're gonna, you can go down those rabbit holes of, you know, don't want you too healthy. They make him too much money. Oh. Bio-oxidation therapies are therefore referred to as bio-oxidative detoxification. The most common techniques of bio-oxidation clinically utilized today are the hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy, multi-step oxygen therapy, medical hydrogen peroxide therapy, and ozone therapy. Okay, so each of these has specific applications for which is best suited. The most important physiologic or natural substance causing oxidation in the human body is hydrogen peroxide. Although it is naturally made in the biological body, hydrogen peroxide is considered H2O2. Is considered a drug when used in bio-oxidative therapy. Hydrogen peroxide, I think that's why they couldn't actually patent hydrogen peroxide. H2O2 is actually made in the body, but man, do they try to patent everything. They're even in the deep oceans right now patenting life. You know, they patent plants, like all the good medicinal plants and herbs that are in the rainforests and stuff, and then they make a synthesized product to sell us. Weird that everything is privatized on the planet that you're living on. It's curious, the negative agenda, huh? Go down that rabbit hole. Anyways, here we go. Trying to get everybody into at least cognitive. My suggestion is cognitive, start thinking about your health first. You nurture yourself first, get cleaned up a little bit so that you can have some cognitive ability, right? So that we can have critical thinking, and then we can actually go, hey, I don't like my world, my reality, the matrix that I'm living in, so I'm going to change it, right? Wasn't that, everybody says that, like Gandhi and all those guys, right? So be the change, that whole thing. Anyway, so get cleaned up and stuff, and then go, okay, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna figure out some kind of cool business, that cool green or even beyond green, some kind of biomimicry business, right? That's gonna be like really cool. Anyways, what was I saying? Hydrogen peroxide is manufactured almost exclusively by the anthraquinone process. The anthraquinone process, and that process was formalized in 1936 and patented in 1939. So just the process alone was patented by BASF, right? And right? Remember those? They used to make cassette tapes and stuff, but they stopped doing all that. Because they're already rich enough to do all the, listen, BASF-SE is a German chemical company and the largest chemical producer in the world. Go down that rabbit hole about that company, man, back in the 30s in the Nazi Germany and all, woo. Okay, anyway. We have to talk about this stuff because, the oxygen therapies and the hydrogen peroxide therapy and all that, because it's hush hush. It's like, don't oxygenate your cells. That's why when I talk about structured, when you see a product, I just saw this the other day. I'll give you an example. Okay, I was in the grocery store and I saw an O4 extra oxygen into a water, and it was pulled off the shelf immediately, right? They're like, anybody that starts a company like that usually gets bought out by a bigger company and then they get it shut down. That's just too much into your cellular structure that actually pushes out, kills viruses, and it kills parasites and toxins and pushes it out of your system, right? Okay, so that's why there's so many like almost conspiracy theories behind the article, or not article, the blog that I'm writing, okay, that I wrote. So I guess we'll have to keep going off on little tangents. When medical grade hydrogen peroxide is administered intravenously, an enzyme in the blood called catalase splits the hydrogen peroxide into oxygen and water. A small amount of hydrogen peroxide can supply large amounts of oxygen to the tissues. Remember how hydrogen peroxide foams when you put it on a wound or a cut. The foam is oxygen being produced by the action of the enzyme catalase on the peroxide. Utilizing oxygen electrons, hydrogen peroxide is produced in our biological body in different amounts for a multitude of purposes, right? It's H2O2, right? Isn't it? Yeah. So that's why it's, I don't know, yeah. It is part of a system that assists in the use of oxygen for breathing, all right? It is also a part of the system that helps to regulate all living cell membranes, right? It is a hormonal regulator necessary for the body to produce such substances as estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid hormones. It is important in the regulation of blood sugar and the production of energy in cells, right? Energy in cells, mitochondrial biogenesis, ATP, blah, blah, blah. It helps to regulate certain chemical compounds necessary for brain and our nervous system function. It is used in the defense system to kill bacteria, viruses, yeast, and parasites. Both oxygen and hydrogen peroxide have been found to be important in regulating the immune system. Okay, so O2 oxygen is what powers cells and immune mechanisms by generating electrons via metabolism. Singlet oxygen is formed during normal immune response to destroy pathogens and unwanted organic debris. Electron, O2, and singlet oxygen levels can be enhanced and enabled or supplemented directly by means of several different protocols, okay? So first, we're gonna give you all these, right? And then, okay, so first, aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercise by means of deep breathing, and of course deep breathing from the diaphragm before falling into a rhythmic breathing during meditation in nature preferably, right? So you can get the circadian rhythm. And breath work such as the helio, I want to say? No. Holotropic breath work or the Kundalini yogic breathing exercises, okay? So a lot of these other techniques that you can use to get oxygenated, all these breathing techniques are really cool because it helps you slow down when in meditation, and then it helps you regulate, right? Okay, so rhythmic breathing during meditation in nature. Hello, oxygen. Thank you, elemental. Second, structured water. That's why I always talk about structured water, right? Structured water, of course. Hello, energized water. Thank you, elemental. Right? Get that extra oxygen and extra hydrogen going when it's structured, because your water inside your body, we already talked about all this, it's structured. And then if you're just drinking distilled water or something, or non-alkalized water, and not artesian spring well water like we used to drink from like the nature, right? And it was out in the sun, and then it picked up trace minerals and stuff, so you're getting that extra electrolytes, right? The electrons, right? And it's highly energized. So just consider that. Okay, that was second. Or cogitate on that one. Thirdly, alkalizing and raising our own pH levels through the use of sodium bicarbonate, right? Magnesium, potassium, and cell salt supplements, etc. Thank you, minerals and trace minerals. So alkalize your water too. That's why a lot of people just, squeeze a little bit of lemon in there too. It'll give you some extra little energizing electrolytes. 4, bioavailable vitamin C. Ascorbic acid, man, has the added dimension of supplying hot singlet oxygen immune bursts along with huge quantities of antioxidant electrons. A flood of electrons mobilizes positively charged toxic metals used with chelators like cracked cell wall chlorella, bentonite clay, activated coconut charcoal, and donates to and oxidized molecules in need like spent vitamin E. So let's see, vitamin C with those. Actually, sometimes I take the activated charcoal with some vitamin C late at night and let that kind of flush through my system. That it's a detoxifier, right? And once the metals are eliminated, their free radical generating habits cease to continually gobble vital electrons, right? So if you have those toxic metals inside of you, they're actually grabbing all the electrons that want to energize your cells, right? Okay? These recharged antioxidants can continue protecting cell molecules if you detox with that, right? The vitamin C and the activated charcoal, or the bentonite clay, or the cracked cell wall chlorella, or spirulina, or one of those, right? You combine that like a little bit at night. Like we already talked about the thing that I drink. I drink the raw apple cider vinegar with the turmeric and the black pepper, and I have one of those, a little sip on those at night, right? Okay, 5. An iodine supplementation, or foods rich in iodine, is an essential nutrient needed for the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormones. At doses above that need, iodine is an oxidizer that goes back in history as an effective medicine used on infections, cancers, etc. I sometimes use kelp iodine drops into my structured water, especially during larger photonic energetic waves and these air showers, right? Okay, because it's protecting the liver. Is that what I was saying? The kelp iodine? Thyroid, right. The thyroid, because they did studies way back when we dropped nuclear studies, right? Nuclear radiation, and those gamma rays, right, from nuclear. It's a different type of a frequency gamma ray of radiation. But anyways, they found that if you have a good thyroid gland that has the good iodine in it, it helps with the radiation. So that's why you do a couple of, I personally do a couple of, like 3 drops or so in some, 8-ounce glass of water, and do the, it helps my thyroid when the air showers are coming in, okay? So that's another thing that I do. Anyways, 6, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT, puts a patient in a chamber with elevated oxygen levels and higher than normal barometric pressures, so her cells receive more molecules of oxygen per liter. Pathogens are then destroyed. Mitochondrial numbers and mitochondrial outputs increase and energy levels rise. Sports professionals use HBOT to speed recovery from muscle aches, injuries, and concussions, right? The hyperbaric chambers, a little more expensive, right, to get the oxygen therapy for that, of course. And this next one, 7, ozone therapies require professional administration and ozone generators. Ozone supplies singlet oxygen like the rest and is used in dozens of ways, including ozonated solutions, rectal infusions, and by treating blood out, listen to this one, and by treating blood outside the biological body. So kind of taking the plasma out and treating it with oxygen, oxygenating it, expensive, another rabbit hole to go down, right? The ozone therapies, right? Anytime you get up into those expensive, weird things that those guys, anyways, that rabbit hole, I'm not even gonna go there. 8, 35%, 12%, 3% food grade hydrogen peroxide, right? Food grade hydrogen peroxide, that's what we're talking about in 8 here. Not the medical, not the other stuff, not the 3% that you buy at the pharmacy that's got stabilizers in it. We're talking about actually pure food grade hydrogen peroxide in just regular, like diluted water, right? Okay, so H2O2. Used in alternative medicine for cancers, all infections, MS, asthma, COPD, and emphysema, to name a few. Diluted with 3 to 4 parts distilled or structured water. 3% can be inhaled from vaporizers. It works well when inhaled directly into lungs via a nasal spray bottle. 3% grade, food grade hydrogen peroxide, diluted and in distilled water for any lung condition. 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide is a concentrated food grade form that requires careful handling and must be diluted for use. A typical initial dose is 1 drop of 35% per 8-ounce glass of water a few times a day, when increasing gradually to 15 drops 2 to 3 times per day over a whole month period of time, okay? So right now, let's see, right now this is what I'm doing. I'm doing 3% hydrogen peroxide. I'm doing 3%, and I'm putting about like 24 drops, but in like a whole 3.73 liters or something, it's like a gallon. Like I'm putting, and it's only 3% hydrogen peroxide, right? Food grade, right? So you got to be really careful with that, and I'm going to talk about being very careful about that. So disclaimer here, I'm not a doctor, so these are just suggestions, okay? So what do we got here? I put that in, that's one I'm doing in my water too. Hydrogen peroxide yields O2 oxygen but also generates ROS, reactive oxygen species, or hot singlet oxygen that is devastating to pathogens and parasites in a normal immune defense environment. So that's why the oxygen, really, this whole thing about just oxygenating the cells of your biological body is like a big deal. It's like a hush-hush thing for, you know, hundreds years or more, a couple hundred, I don't know. Anyways, this is a big deal, you guys. That's why why I always discuss about, the structured water, just right then and there, and deep breathing and meditation. Those coupled with being outside in the circadian rhythm. There's a lot of health benefits, lot of holistic health, lots of holistic health benefits with just 3 things that you can do in your life. Okay. So, my suggestion is to do your own research, of course, and read The 1 Minute Cure, The Secret to Healing Vitally All Diseases by Madison Cavanaugh. Please be very careful here and seek professional guidance, right? You don't want to get the Herxheimer reaction, the healing crisis, or the detox reaction if you go too fast, the die-off reaction. This reaction occurs when the body tries to eliminate toxins at a faster rate than it can properly be disposed of. So if you're highly toxic already, do the aerobic exercise, do the deep breathing, and do some structured water, right? First, and then add your chlorophyll, add your things, that we've already talked about, right? Detoxifying your lifestyle, stress too. Big one. We've talked about that. Holistic health, man. Emotional body guide, the emotional stresses. Okay, your biofield physiology. It gets stresses from all kinds of places, right? We've talked about the endocrine connection, the system connection too, with the particles that are coming in. Things are changing. Things are transmutable. Things are and the harder you fight against those changes, those biological changes too, and the mental changes and the spiritual changes, which is the light body, the other frequencies of these, quantum fields, right? Okay? Things are changing. Try to be mutable. It's just a suggestion. Okay, do your own research, gave you that. Be careful, seek professional. You don't want to get properly eliminate toxins too fast. The more toxic your body, your avatar, your biological light body, and their systems are, the more severe the detoxification or healing crisis can be for us. In closing, please ponder how vital oxygenating one's cellular structure is. We can last over 40 days without food, but only a few days without water. That is why I consistently remind everyone about structured water and our biological body water. That is well over 70%. It's probably like more 90% through the tissues and everything. Please take that walk in nature with your reusable canteen full of loved water and breathe deeply. Thank you so much. Oxygen. Anyways, I wanted to read that new one, yeah, and I'm trying to make the connections here. I know we're going through all the alchemical wizard blogs that I write, but I'm trying to get all of it together and give you the connection to this avatar, to this existence, right? You're utilizing this avatar, right? The light structure, this morphogenetic field, right? Your electromagnetic field, your biofield physiology is here, let's say, or here or out, and it's connected to all the other fields, this piece of grass, right? That tree over there, and the more you let your toric field out, right, your electromagnetics, you can utilize it by feeling what that tree feels, right? And because all your glands start working together, that's why we go through each little piece of this, the epigenetic health, the subatomic molecular, the biomolecular chemistry of your body too, like getting down into it, and then the particle physics of it, the astral particle physics of it, and then out into the macro, the cosmology of it, right? It's a symbiotic relationship, man. Anyways, I think that's it. That's good enough. All right? Are you connecting all these dots, man? All right, excellent. I'll see you guys on the next video, man, and get stay healthy, because it's a the electromagnetics are, it's like this roller coaster ride, right? All these different air showers coming in, and it's just gonna crank up right here, man. So get yourself, seriously, my suggestion, please consider getting healthier, right? And consider everything as an electromagnetics, right? Even your piece of fruit, here's that nice apple off of the tree, and it's got some dirt on it and some bugs and stuff. Good, eat it. It's good for you. It's got that good bacteria probably on it, unless I sprayed it, and it's got structured water in it. Some nice fructose sugar, right? Not the refined stuff. Okay, I could talk forever. All right.